I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will understand in details how to solve exponential equations. Now this video is exponential equations part 1, since I'll take up examples where the bases are kind of same, and then we'll see how to solve those exponential equations, and in the next part we will take the case when the bases given to us are different, right? So let's begin by writing some equations. So let me start with simple equations like 2 to the power of x equals to 16. Find x. When we say solve, we are just trying to find the value of unknown variable, right? So I may write different variables here. For example, let me use y here. Okay, is 27. We could write the number first, right? So let me write 8 here. 2 to the power of, let us say p, right? Or we'll write some number first. Okay, that's fine. So sometimes what we say is, let's say this is equals to 1, right? Let us say these are few examples to solve. We need to find the value of the variable. That is what we mean when we say solve. Exponential equation means we have constant to something variable as a base. So exponential equation really means it is b to the power of x. So b is a real number, right? So b belongs to real numbers and x is the variable. So it becomes an exponential equation. Now how to solve these equations? Best way to solve these equations, rather the way to solve this equation is that we should turn this number into exponent like this, where the base is same as the base given to us. In that case, we can just compare the exponents and write the solution. For example, 16 could be written as 2 to the power of 4, right? So it is 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 2 to the power of 4 is 16. And on the left side, we have 2 to the power of x. Now, since the base are same, x should be equal to 4, right? So that results into x equals to 4. Once we know the value of x, we know exactly the solution of the exponential equation. So that's the idea, right? So let's do it once again. We have 3 to the power of y equals to 27. You need to write 27 as 3 to the power of something, right? So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So you're using 3 threes. So 3 to the power of 3. Now the base is same, therefore the solution is y equals to 3. You get your solution. So that is the step which you need to take to solve. Let's practice. 8 equals to 2 to the power of p. Okay. Now 8 could be written as 2 times 2 times 2, right? So that means 2 times 2 times 2 is 2 to the power of 3. That means 3 equals to p, right? 3 equals to p. So the solution is p is equals to 3. Right, you got it. Now how do we solve this? 5 to the power of something is 1. Now if I cannot write 1 as 5 to the power of, can I? That is kind of tricky. So this is really a very tricky question. So we need 1. I hope you remember. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, right? Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Therefore, the solution is x equals to 0. Now that you should remember, okay? This is very important. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, right? So anything to the power of 0 is 1. Therefore, we could solve it like this, right? So I hope this gives you a fairly good idea of how to solve such equations. And there is a similar trick question here also. We could write, let us say we write 16 to the power of something, let us say x, okay, equals to 16. Now what is the value of x? Well, x should be 1, right? It's only 16 to the power of 1 is 16. Do you get the idea, right? So we know x should be equals to 1. So this is also important to remember that anything to the power of 1 is the number itself, right? So remember this also, that anything to the power of 1 is the number itself, right? Now in the same series, I could say 1 to the power of x is equals to, let us say, 5 to the power of y, right? So let us say something else, right? Now what is the solution for this equation? Now that becomes very tricky. 1 to the power of anything is 1, right? So basically what we need here is 1 to the power of anything is just 1, right? So if I need 5 to the power of something as 1, then that something should be 0, right? I should have used some other base anyway. Anyway, you get the idea, right? So it is 5 to the power of y. To get 1, I have to write 5 to the power of 0, right? Well, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So again, what you get here is y equals to 0, right? So these are kind of variations to the normal, but easy equations once you understand the concept. Anything to the power of 1 is the number itself, and anything to the power of 0 is 1. Okay, so let me write here in general what we have learned. So what we have learned is b to the power of 0 is 1, right? And b to the power of 1 is equals to b. Correct. So b is any, well, I should say what b is in this case, right? So what we are normally, when we talk about exponential functions, b we are using as a real number for the time being, right? So we are not talking about functions. It could be any number, right? Okay, that's fine. Let's continue. So here are a few practice questions for you. So let me write some practice questions as, let us say, 64 equals to 4 to the power of x, right? So you could find what this is. So we'll have 1024 equals to 2 to the power of x. So these are your practice questions. So try to solve these two questions, adopt this strategy which we have learned, and two more based on the tricks which we learned, and that is 6 to the power of x is equals to 1, and 9 to the power of y equals to 9, right? So find x and y in this case. So I hope this really helps you. So the concept here is that if you have a to the power of x equals to, let us say, a to the power of y, so that basically means that x should be equal to y, right? Only then this is true. So that is the concept, right? So I hope with this we are in a position to move on to the next level of solving exponential equations. I'm Anil Kumar. You can subscribe and learn a lot from my videos. I hope that really helps. Thank you and all the best.